Hi, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we're going to show you how to pour and finish a public sidewalk. We're actually doing some work here for one of our customers. They live in the Portland area, Portland, Oregon. And we started to pour concrete on this side, on the right side of his property line. So we're pouring it straight from the truck, and then right here we have the screed. We're just dragging the concrete from one edge of the form board to the other edge, just kind of making sure that we're following the level that we have established. And there we have, the hand trowel tools. We're starting to kind of work all of the edges. At the same time there, we're pulling the concrete there with the tool. And then we also have like the little, we have the hand trowels right here. And so we're just pulling the concrete in different directions, making sure that any excess concrete, we're just dragging it there. And there it is, we're just pouring concrete. And that's pretty much how you do that. We're just dragging the concrete right there. And just pulling some excess, or putting some in depending on what's needed. And this customer right here, he actually has like 50 lineal feet of sidewalk area that we had to replace. Now here we have the bull float that we're just running across the surface. This helps us kind of smoothing out the upper surface and just getting it further ready. And so here, we have the total, it's about 50 lineal feet of public sidewalk. And there's a tree right there, a really big tree that damaged the previous sidewalk. And so right there, with the shovel, we're just getting some concrete and just checking everything, making sure if we have any low spots, we're just having them, put it in there so we have a nice, decent level with no dips or, bumps or anything from side to side. And so see that bull float, it really helps us cover like a long area. We can work the concrete pretty efficiently. And right now we're getting towards the other end. And there you see we have our hand tools right there, just scraping any of the excess concrete that's on the forms, putting it right into the sidewalk area. And we're just kind of working all of that, getting it nice and ready right there. After we do this, then we kind of run the bull float. And right there, we're just pouring the final concrete area. This is right between the driveway and the apron. So, we're right here, it's usually a little thicker, about 6 inches thick. And then it goes back to the normal 4-inch thick sidewalk. And we're going to be doing it broom finish. Just that's what the city requires, and it's pretty standard across the board. So so we're just doing the final areas there. And then right here we have the bull float. We're just working it from side to side and along the length as well. See how if you run it across the surface, it kind of helps us to fill in some of those gaps, holes that you see on the surface. It helps us start getting everything nice. And then we get the we're putting in here more concrete wherever. We're just kind of inspecting everything, making sure that we're filling in all the areas, and see we keep working the bull float right there. Starting to come out pretty nice. And then pretty quickly, you know, we started to do the joints. Right here we have our joint tool. We just press it into the concrete there, and that helps create a nice deep tool joint. And this is another tool that we have for the edge. It has like a little curve, you know, so we just put it into the edge of the form. That helps makes a nice clean edge. And right here we're starting to make those joints in between the sidewalk panels. Typically in the city of Portland, they require us to have like 3x3 squares, and in this scenario we're actually doing the deep joints every like 6 feet. And if you can tell the forms, the form boards right there where they meet at the angle, that's where we typically put the joints. You know, we put the forms, we set them up in a way where wherever they kind of two forms meet, that's where we're gonna be putting the joint. And so there, you know, we have all the joints right there running across where we need it. And then we're just gonna need one more right there. And at this point, it's in a pretty good spot right there. We're just continuing to just work the surface with our trowel, and just making sure everything is, you know, filled in. Like right here, we notice some low spots. We're also working the edges. We do this at a pretty early, early on in the concrete, because later on it's going to be really hard to try to do this if we wait any longer, or if we wait, you know, till the concrete dries. So you can kind of see the concrete looks a little wet right there, and this is a perfect time. We're just running that edge tool everywhere. And here, you know, we have a nice Fresno tool. This helps us kind of like seal the concrete surface, and it gives us like a really nice smooth surface on the top. It also helps bring up a little bit of the cream, you know, the concrete cream, so that way when it dries a little bit more and we go to finish, it will be a little easier. And there we're just working the whole the Fresno throughout the entire sidewalk, because pretty soon we're gonna be running a string line from one property line all the way to the other property line, kind of like at the center of the sidewalk, so we can make like a really long joint that goes all the way in between the sidewalk. But before we do that part, we want to go ahead and do this Fresno, just get everything kind of ready. So, and it's okay, you know, if you kind of go over your joints with this, because we're going to give it another pass with the joiner later as the concrete dries a little bit more. And there we have the string line. We're just getting it from one end all the way to the other end, and we're going to put this in the existing joints that the sidewalk has. So we're going to line it up from the one way down over there all the way to this one, and then we're just going to pull it, and you see right there that gave us a nice straight line, so we know where to run our tool for the joint. And there it is. We're starting to just use our tool to follow that line that we just created with the string line. That's going to help us get a nice straight line all the way through. And so we're just kind of pressing it in and into the concrete, and you just have to drag it back and forth until you get a nice joint, kind of like this right here. You see that? So we're already gone all the way over there. And then in this hard to reach area, we're just kind of going it from the side, and he's just holding it with one hand, just kind of dragging it back and forth until he can get the joint to be created. And he's getting it at another angle, just getting it as far as he can, and then at the end, he'll stand over here, and then he'll just get whatever's needed. But it's coming out really nice with those deep tool joints. So you just got to be careful with it. Just, it's a nice. This is a really good skilled work, that we have. You just have to put the tool in enough in there and just kind of work it through back and forth. And we're almost done right here with the creating the tool joint all the way down the center. And right here, we're starting to measure, because we're gonna do some control joints that run across. Like, you see that little line right there? There's another little mark right there. He's using the tape measure and measuring, kind of dividing the areas in between, so it has equal measurements, and then just kind of verifying, making sure that everything is matches. And you see right there the tape measure. He's gonna put it the edge right into the concrete to kind of make that indentation. And then with that joiner right there, we're just putting that in and going from one end to the other end, making those cross joints. I think in this case we're doing like 32 inches. So every 32 inches, we're making that nice deep tool joint. This is what the city loves. They like to see this. We're doing this through the voluntary repair department. So they like to see all these tool joints with no shiny edges. They want us to just put broom finish, all the way across. And so here, we're just starting to clean up, working it with the hand trowel. And then it's starting to get a little bit drier, but it's still pretty wet. So we're just working the surface with the trowel. Not, we don't want to overwork it either, because that will affect the concrete. So we're just kind of giving it a little pass over, just seeing how things are. But we noticed that it's still pretty wet, so we only worked it a little bit. We don't want to be, messing with the concrete too much, because we want to let it go through its natural curing process. So you can see right there, he's just giving it a quick pass, run through right there. And the joints got kind of messed up a little bit, but that's not really a big deal. We're going to go ahead and pass the joiner tool one more time, closer to the, a little bit later, so that way we have a nice straight edge line for the control joint. And see, there it is. We're starting to go ahead and run that joint tool again. And this is to control the cracks, because concrete, it expands, and over time it's going to crack. So we make these deep tool joints like this one, so that way we hope the concrete will crack in that area, since it creates like a weaker point. And in this part right here, this is almost ready. From this end, not everything, kind of closer to the center, we still needed to wait a little while longer, maybe like another 30 minutes or an hour. But there was some spots, like this one over here was still pretty wet, and we actually found a little bit of low spots over here. So we're just adding a little bit of concrete, and we just kind of press it in there with the hand trowel, and we're just continue to just run it through the surface to fill in that area and just kind of smooth it out. So Yeah, right here we actually needed a little bit of, like, a decent amount of concrete. It's always a good idea to ask the supplier, whoever you use, just tell them, hey, you know what, can you just leave me like a half a wheelbarrow right here, maximum a wheelbarrow, you know, just so in case you need a little bit more concrete, you have it there readily available and you just don't run into any problems that way. So right here, the concrete is a little drier, so we're just decided to run that tool joint through that area, and it's given us a nice clean edge tool. We're running both, you know, the one next to the forms and then the one in the center, and it's just starting to look really good. There's the edge, that edge tool joint. So this is the time when we're just letting those tools do their job. We're running it through the middle, through the cross sections, through the edges. I mean, pretty much giving everything another pass. And see right here, it's already getting really close. So the only thing that we do from here is we just work it with the hand trowel, and then we have like a little hand, like a Fresno, that it has like a thin, it's a thin tool that we run it across the surface, and that gives us like a really nice smooth surface look. And then once we leave it like that, we're almost pretty close to being able to do a broom finish. And see, there it is. Right there, we're starting to do the broom finish. We went ahead and just got all the area ready, and right here we're just kind of doing it as we go, because the rest of the area still needed some more time to dry. So we just decided to do this and leave it like that. So that's pretty much it. You know, that's kind of our process to pour a public sidewalk area. I hope you really liked this video, and please subscribe to our channel, follow us. We're going to be uploading some more video and content every week of all kinds of different concrete that we do.